Hey guys, Poi here. I don't really know if anyone really cares about everything that I'm going to go into in this video, but I decided to make it anyway because I love my setup and I wanted to make a video on it so that you guys know kind of what it's like to work in my current workstation, I guess. As some of you guys may know, I was homeless quite a while back, and I had the worst possible setup imaginable. I was literally outside in a backyard surrounded by grass and mosquitoes and wind, and I could barely get anything done. It was horrible. I actually ended up finishing my album in an entirely different country to where I live, in Greece, with my friend. But now that I'm back and we are in a proper home, I am back to a proper setup. And it is a very, very nice setup that I have basically built from scratch, other than the computer and a few other things. So I figured I'd make this video to show you guys the improvement that has taken place in the last 6 months in terms of what I'm working with and what I'm using to produce what I produce. And I also wanted to say that you guys, the fans, took a very big part of this. I really appreciate all the support you guys have given me, whether financial or just being here as a fan. It's all, in one way or another, gotten me to where I am right now. So let's get right into it. So first, let me start off with the PC specs. My CPU is an AMD Ryzen 5 3600, the 12-core version, I believe. And my graphics card is an nVidia Geforce RTX 3060 Ti. I have 16 gigs of RAM, and it's all in a Corsair iCUE 220T RBG Airflow Case. Now, I know this setup isn't the best setup in the world or anything, but it does what it's supposed to do. I plan on upgrading my CPU soon into something that can handle music production a bit better, since my projects are getting quite extensive, and Ableton has a hard time running them because my CPU is sort of below par for the kinds of projects that I'm running. Other than that though, it's a pretty efficient setup. It works for what I need it to do, and if you're not too focused on gaming, it should work fine for any kind of productivity like music or video production. Alright, so let's move on to peripherals, starting with my mouse and keyboard. The mouse is a Ponage Ultra Custom Ergo Gen 2, the wireless version. I have the black version and it comes with some white top covers as well. I also purchased the mint top covers. You can buy the covers separately on their website. This mouse is super modular and custom, meaning that you can switch out the buttons and the top cover to basically any color you could imagine, and the closest thing that they had that matches my keyboard was the mint ones. So I bought those and replaced the DPI button with the mint. Now moving on to arguably what is my favorite part of this entire setup, which is my keyboard, considering I built it myself with parts that I bought online. The base keyboard is a Keychron V4 QMK. It's a wired 60% that's basically designed to be customized. So I swapped the stock keycaps and switches that it came with. The switches I picked are the Wuque Studio WS Quartz switches. They're quite smooth, linear, with a little bit of resistance on the top end that sort of makes it almost feel like a tactile when you're typing or gaming really fast. As for the keycaps, these are the Akko Carolina Blue. They are dye-sub PBT, and I believe they are SA profile, but I could be wrong on that. If anything, you can just look it up yourself. As for the RGB, I'm using Signal RGB. They do support QMK, although it's kind of a process to get it to work with Signal RGB, so I wouldn't really recommend it unless you really care about the RGB and the lights and stuff. The stock RGB that the Keychron comes with is already pretty cool, so it's not really necessary to get it to work with Signal RGB, but if you want it that bad, then go for it, although it is quite complex, and not all Keychron boards are supported. I've also done a tape mod on it to get it to just sound a little bit more satisfying and nice. For those unaware, keyboard quote-unquote enthusiasts really care about the sound of a keyboard, and I know it doesn't make the experience quote-unquote any better, and it's more about functionality and the feel of the keyboard, but it's just a fun little thing that us hobbyists do. The monitor I'm running is an ASUS VG248. It's 144Hz and Full HD. It's not the most amazing monitor in the world, but it looks fine. It has the 144Hz that I want out of a monitor, and it does what it's supposed to do. I've ran it for about 3 years and it's given me no problems. Another thing I unironically really like about my setup and how it looks is my router. It's white, which I really like, and the design on it is really, really cool, and it fits quite well with the aesthetic of my whole setup. Oh yeah, and I also have this Good Smile Fubuki figurine, which is adorable. Alright, so let's move on to probably the moment you've all been waiting for in this video, which is where I talk about my audio equipment. Let's start with my microphone. You're listening to it right now. It is a Shure SM57. This is one of the most famous mics ever. If you listen to any of your favorite artists, they probably have used this mic at some point in their career. And for stuff like guitar tones, it is pretty much a standard when it comes to recording. It's only $99, it's super high quality. It is a dynamic mic, which means it is a bit quiet unless you give it a bit of a boost. I personally have to run it through Voicemeeter Banana and boost the gain literally 12 dB for it to even be remotely audible in something like a Discord call, so just keep that in mind. But it is insane value for $99, and it's a mic I can recommend to absolutely everyone for anything. As for my headphones, I have the Beyerdynamic DT770 Pro. These are the 32 ohm model, and they also have screaming value for the price that they have. They're a little bit over $130, and they sound amazing. The sub bass comes through really well, and the frequency response is pretty flat for a pair of headphones in this price range. It's another product that I can recommend to absolutely anyone who just wants to get started with this, or even if you're experienced and you just need something really solid to work with. These headphones are amazing. I've mixed every single tune of mine after Voyager on these headphones, so that should just be a testament to how truly good and usable for mixing and for listening these headphones are. Now, both of the products I just talked about are going into a Behringer U-Phoria UMC22 interface. It has two inputs, an XLR and a TRS. It doesn't have any kind of MIDI inputs, and unfortunately you're limited to the plug type per input. So you can't have two TRSs or two XLRs, unfortunately. But other than that, honestly, it has all the features that you would expect out of an interface. The recording quality and the sort of usability and functionality is pretty good. Definitely much better than something like Focusrite. So if you just want a basic interface that just records what you need to record and works as an interface, then this one is awesome for the price. Now, I should note that I do get the occasional crackling problems and stuff like that. And sometimes the audio inputs and outputs just kind of go haywire on me, but after some tinkering I managed to get it to work again, and it's never sort of a permanent issue that I have to deal with, unlike my previous experiences with Focusrite products. I also own two very beautiful and very good guitars. I bought them both myself and I have them somewhat customized. Unfortunately, I only have one for you guys to see here because the other one is in Tampa, which is 4 hours away from me. Very, very responsible of me. I take such good care of my guitars. But anyway, here's the one I have. It is a Schecter CR-6 Pro, string through construction, bolt-on neck. It works splendidly for any 6-string work I have to do. It feels very nice, it plays very nicely, the build construction is solid. I have it here fitted with Lace Alumni Tone pickups, and they sound very clear and crisp. Honestly, a very, very solid guitar. It goes for about $800 at your local guitar store. And it's a pretty common guitar, so you shouldn't have too much trouble finding it. But if anything, you can just buy it online for a similar price. I also have a 7-string Kiesel headless guitar, but again, like I said, that's not here with me. So I can't show you guys it, but it's cool, it's headless, it's light, it's a gent machine thing. Cool. If you've gotten this far in the video, I really appreciate it. It's been a very, very weird time in my life, and I'm glad to finally be settling into something solid and consistent, to say the least. Honestly, any kind of support you guys show me means a lot, whether it's financial or just literally being here for me and being a fan. I can't thank you guys enough. I hope you guys got something out of this video, even if it's just a little bit of enjoyment. Make sure to share this video with your friends if they're like tech geeks or whatever. That's all I have for you guys today. Take care. Peace.